about how much I've spent on mods on my 2019 Mustang GT. Hey guys, welcome to Red 50. Thank you for tuning into another video. If you're new to the channel, thank you for stopping by. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. So I figured it'd be kind of nice to go over everything I've done on my car and how much it has cost me in terms of money. For those of you who just picked up your recent Mustang GT and are looking to modify the car. Now the good thing is, the S650 Mustang is right around the corner. So a lot of people are dumping their S550 Mustang and getting the S650 Mustang, which means you can get pretty good deals on some of these mods. I do want to be clear, this is not supposed to be a brag post or anything like that. I know when I was buying my Mustang, I was really curious, some of the bills I looked at, how much it really cost, and what people have put into, and just the rationale for picking one part over another. So that's another thing, because I'm a believer in not compromising in quality. So some of the stuff, like for lowering springs, you will see them for $100, you will see them for $300, you'll see them for $600. So how much should you really be spending? And I'm going to give you my impression of everything I have spent on the car, and what my impressions are with each mod and how it really changed the car, whether it's for the appearance or the performance. Because the reality is that when you're modifying your car, there's a lot of mods out there, and you really want to make a decision, before you even start. I encourage everyone to basically have a build sheet in mind, right? So you don't want to be buying something and then later you're like, okay, that's not what I wanted. So maybe you lower the car and you daily drive it, and then you're like, you know what, lowering is cool and all, but the ride has gotten really stiff. And that's not the case for the springs I went ahead with, so I'll talk about that in the video. But yeah, you want to be strategic with the mods. If you're someone who's very careful with the warranty and they don't want to avoid the warranty, then, don't go tuning the car to its max potential. Keep it conservative. So yeah, this video should help out with this. So let's go ahead and break down how much I have spent on modifications on my 2019 Mustang GT. Okay, so if you own a V8, it's a no-brainer. The first mod you should be doing should be the exhaust. Even though I had an active exhaust from the factory, I went ahead with the Corsa active exhaust, and honestly, it sounds amazing. I'm going to post up some clips so you can hear how it sounds. So while the exhaust sounds amazing, and I absolutely love it, and as in terms of how much it added the value for me, I would have to give it a 10 out of 10. But it did cost me a pretty penny, and the exhaust itself was $2,200. Now, if you don't have the active exhaust from the factory, you can get the non-active version of the Corsa Extreme, which will run you about $1,700 or so, which is still pretty expensive for just a catback that's not adding any power to your car. But honestly, if I'm being honest, the exhaust on the S550 Mustangs are just generally more expensive, and you have to get a catback otherwise, unless you're willing to kind of cut the axle block. There's no true axle back style exhaust for these cars, kind of like what you would be able to get with the S197 Mustangs. So while the exhaust is really good, the next mod we got is actually on the interior, and it's a very small mod, but let me show it to you. It was these paddle shifter extensions from Amazon. I do have a link in the description below for these specific ones. I went out with the red because I wanted to match it up. But honestly, if I'm being honest, I'm starting to get bored out of these pedal shifter extensions. I may just remove them. It's been on the car for 2+ years, no issues. It looks really good and has held up pretty good. So no quality issues or anything. I'm just kind of getting bored with the red. I feel like it's too much red in the interior. But I paid only $20 for it, so it is what it is. I was really excited because that was one of the first mods I had done on the channel, because the Corsa Extreme was prior I had started the channel, so I was very excited to be able to kind of have a mod and do like a whole unboxing and install it. It was a whole thing. Now I feel like I'm starting to get bored of it. Now, next mod I did on my Mustang is actually the tin, which has obviously changed the look of the car. I had the fishbowl look from the factory, but I went ahead with the 20% on the sides and 20% on the back. No windshield tint because I don't want to get in trouble. This goes without saying, make sure you follow your state's limit as to what is legal, what is illegal in your specific state. So 20% is okay in my state, and it looks really good. There's people running 5%, but I feel like that's just kind of asking for trouble, especially with a loud exhaust. Tin prices can vary depending on where you get it from, but the tin for my specific car cost me about $170. And this is a basic tin, so it's not like carbon or ceramic tin. If you do want to get one of those, it will run you $350, $400 or so. But I'm pretty content with it. It's been 2 years or so since I've had this tin, and I mean, so far it's held up pretty good. Now, after doing all of those, the car kind of sat as is for a little while, and then I was like, you know what, I want to go back into it and do some more mods. And the next mod we did also really enhanced the look of the car. So I had the stock blade spoiler, basically, and I went ahead and got the replica GT500 spoiler on here. And this is off of Amazon, link is in the description. This one was about $120 or so, and in my opinion, it truly transformed the way the car looks. It looks absolutely amazing. It's got, very aggressive stance with this spoiler. And as you can probably tell from this angle, the car is lower, which was the next mod we did on this Mustang. We went ahead with the Steeda progressive springs, which lowered the car about 1 inch in the rear and 1 inch in the front. And although the car is on aftermarket wheels, which we'll cover in a bit, when I got the car lowered on stock wheels, it completely transformed the way the car looked. And at that time, the springs I got with the Steeda springs, they were about $250 or so, and I had to pay for the installation as well. But the way the car looked, even with the factory wheels, I'll put up a picture here right now, but even with the factory wheels, the car looked absolutely amazing. The before and after on that was completely transformed the look of the car. And with all that being said, once everything was done, I was missing just the one last piece, and that was getting the new wheels for my Mustang. And here are the new wheels that we went with. These are the SVE SB2 wheel, which are pretty much the replica Performance Pack 2 wheels. I went out with the gloss black to match everything that's been going on in the car with the black spoiler, the black accent pack, the blacked out emblems and everything. In my opinion, these wheels and the tires that I went with truly transformed the look of this car. The car looks so much better now. The stock black accent came with the 250. The stock black accent came with the 255 tires all around. I went with the square setup, which are 285, 35, 19 all around. And I mean, the stance on these wheels just looks so much better. The car with the new wheels and new tires has a much more aggressive stance than what I had with the stock factory wheels and tires. And honestly, the car looks just absolutely amazing with the Performance Pack 2 style wheels. And these wheels have been amazing. So I got them for around $1,100 or so. And in my opinion, it has completely transformed the way the car looks. The new wheels, I think that's going to be another thing. Like, wheels on any car will make a huge difference. So I highly recommend, if you're going to swap out your tires eventually, might as well just do it sooner. Depending on what wheels you're going with, you may have to change the tires, which is what I had to do. So it's going to be one of the most expensive mods you're going to be doing on your S550 Mustang, but it's going to be the best bang for your buck in terms of how your car is going to look. It's going to completely transform, and obviously when I got the new wheels, I also got the new tires, which meant I finally have enough traction to be able to enjoy the car a little bit and actually get on it, have fun during the spirited drive, and not have to worry about losing traction, which, I mean, the stock Pirellis were horrible for that. The Pirellis just barely hooked, especially from a dig. It just wouldn't hook. It would be spinning everywhere, which is also not safe, but it just also meant you have 460 horsepower, 435 horsepower if you look for the Gen 2 Coyote, that you just can't make use of. Alright, so that pretty much covers with what I've done. Appearance-wise on my Mustang, I did get a K&N Air filter as well, which cost me around $60. It did not make any difference, but I was due for a filter change, and instead of getting a generic Motorcraft filter, I figured I'll go ahead with the K&N Air filter. Now, with these cars, I did want to go with the colder intake, but a lot of people who have gotten colder intake, or, it's recommended for the 2018 and up Mustangs, so if you do have a Gen 3 Coyote, that the stock air box is already a colder intake, so you're not really going to gain much horsepower from going with one of the GLT intakes or so, maybe 3 to 5 horsepower, which really you won't be able to tell, and most of the gains are coming from the tune itself. So I skipped out on that. I just did a drop-in filter, which is something a lot of people recommend, but paid $60 for it. In terms of changing anything, it didn't really change anything. So if you want to go with the Motorcraft, you could go ahead with it, but that's what I do have. One of the other things I do have sitting in my garage that needs to be installed is a J&L oil separator. So I got that for the passenger side, which is recommended for these cars to have the passenger side oil filter to kind of collect some of the gunk and making your engine running healthier. That cost me around $160. I haven't put it on yet, so I can't give you opinion as to how it is and if it's worth it or not. I did see a lot of forum posts where people have shown before and after, and it does collect good bit. It is recommended to skip on the driver's side unless you're going to be tracking your car. So if you are, trying to protect your engine, but you don't track your car, just go with the passenger side, save $150 on the driver's side, and you'll be good to go. So here's how much I have spent in total on all the mods I've done on this 2019 Mustang GT. I still got a lot of power stuff to do, and that's something I've been holding off. But now that I'm done with all the appearance mod, the next is going to be power mods. I am going to be getting a tune. We're going to start off with the 93 tune, but I will be getting E85 tune as well, just to see what the fuss is about, because it seems like for the Gen 3 Coyotes, it is highly recommended to get the E85 tunes, because the gains you can get from that, from a higher compression engine, is worth it. So I'm going to be trying the E85 as well. I think I want to skip out on long tube headers, because unless you can do the install yourself, The headers plus the install cost is close to $2,000, and that is 1/3 of the way to boosting your car. And to be honest, that's where I'm heading towards. If I don't get an S650 Mustang, I will be looking to boost this car because I feel that's going to be some major power adder, and it's going to give me the power I want from the car. And it's probably the best bang for your buck if you want to, supercharge or turbo the car. I probably wouldn't go with the turbo. I would probably go with supercharge it. But then the big decision on that is seeing how the S650 Mustangs are going to be reviewed. Once I get a hold of it, I want to drive it around and see how much improvement it is over the current S550 Mustang, and see if it's worth saving up to get the S650 Mustang, or just supercharge this beast and get 650, 700 horsepower. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video in terms of how much I have spent in total for all the mods I've done, and hopefully it's a helpful video for you if you're in the market for the Mustang, or if you just recently got your Mustang and you're trying to figure out how much it would cost you for your car to look kind of like what I have going on right now. I think it's going to be good for you to get a reference point. And like I said, a lot of people are upgrading to the S650 Mustang nowadays, so you will be most likely getting lucky in terms of finding some of the used parts, barely used parts, that you can catch on Facebook Marketplace or something for much cheaper than what I paid for these parts. All the parts I've gotten are new. Make sure you are subscribed to Red50 for future build videos, because we are going to be tuning the car and it's going to be insane. Make sure you guys are subscribed so you can follow the build and you can see the crazy tune and the E85, and hopefully supercharging it soon. Catch you guys in the next video.